Hello, everyone. All of you who have joined me. Welcome to Sunday night with me, streaming to you live from Southwest Florida. So good to be with you tonight. I'm excited about tonight. It's been, who's been uh, resurrected for me tonight is Abraham Hicks. And I'm happy about that because they are one of my most personal teachers. So, David, so happy. If you're with me, say hello. Say hello. Toby. Toby. Yeah, it's just a moment of connection with people I love from everywhere. So, tonight's really just all about the just all about this one really essential truth about living a life of spiritual power is that we have to take responsibility for our life, every little piece of it. You know that if what we teach is true, and I believe it's true, I've lived my last 3 decades of my life proving to myself it's true, that we are not victims, right? That we are powerful co-creators, and that we, however we want to think about this, who we are and how we came to be, however we want to think about it, if we think about it properly, in my view, we will understand that we have way more control and power than we ever thought we did. Now, I wanted to start, I've been calling this Living Between Two Worlds, which I have loved. And I'm continuing to love it, and it inspires me every single week. And I want to just tell you, I didn't make that up, that there's a book called Living Between Two Worlds, written by Joel Goldsmith, who is a modern day mystic. And I thought I would give you a little bit of background. I'm going to rephrase him a little bit because he's a little bit Christian. So if you're not Christian, the language may be a little hard to get past. But I want to give you this background, and then we're going to really dive into a little bit of Abraham Hicks today, because remember, the point here always is to be happy. The point is to be powerful. The point is to be the architect of your existence and not the end result of circumstances. And I've been practicing right along with you. I mean, this is, I, like you and everyone else, we struggle to find our place in a world gone mad. And really, truly, I'm not even trying to be negative. I think it's just the truth. The world has gone mad. So much worry and doubt and fear and limitation and lack. I just is crazy for me. So I've dedicated my life to being happy and to being healthy and prosperous, no matter what age. I just turned 71. I'm moving into that even more strongly than before. So, but let me share with you this chapter in Joel Goldsmith's book, Living Between Two Worlds, is called Opening the Door to Infinity. And it's I love the title of the chapter, because in the realm of what I'm teaching and learning to practice, and also wanting to experience for myself always, is that we are birthless, deathless, eternal beings, that you are not a bag of bones, that you are not merely the machine of your body, which is, by the way, a machine. If you don't think your body's a machine, just go to the doctor, and they're going to test all your systems like your car. You know how you have a computer in your car, and when you go to your dealership, they plug your car in and they check all the vital systems of the car that is your machine. It's the kind of same with our bodies, that our bodies are well crafted because we didn't make them. So God created our bodies the same way that God created trees and lions. And God, by the way, does not mean some gray-haired man on a cloud somewhere. It means the quantum field. It means universal intelligence. It means the science of mind. But so your bodies, so we teach that we are more than this. We are more than this. And that we can transcend our conditions and circumstances. So opening the door to infinity, Joel Goldsmith says, I'm going to paraphrase him because I'm going to take out some of the language that not everyone will like. But he says there are two levels of consciousness. There is the spiritual level, as described in the first chapter of Genesis, which I love. I'm not a religious person, but I truly do love the analogy of Genesis. So I'm just going to leave it in there. He says, on this level, we were created in the image and likeness of God, or in the image and likeness of the original creator, whatever that is, whatever you want to call that. And in that creation, we show forth, we do not demonstrate any sin, any brokenness, any disease, death, or lack, or limitation, or any of man's inhumanity to man. In our original creation. So when you popped out of your womb, you were perfect, and you are still perfect. And we're keep trying to edge our way back into that perfection. He says, those born into the consciousness of the first chapter of Genesis, into that innocence, also have no mother or father, human mother or father, that they are spiritual. So we began as a spiritual being. He says those born of human parents are born into the level of the second chapter of Genesis, which is the tree of good and evil, where we learn how to not be perfect and whole. He says it is this humanhood that makes us think that destroying our enemy or competitor we can live and prosper, or that by taking away somebody's freedom we can become greater. So the world we live in right now, when you look at the news, when you read the news, or you look into the world, is really, that's the world you see. The world you see is a world where we think that there has to be winners and losers, and that by our power we can win. And that will ultimately lead to the destruction of our civilization, not so much of us. If I know this is a little bit deep, but if you're made in the image and likeness of perfection, wholeness, and the eternal, you cannot die any more than the eternal can die. So we may leave our bodies, but we don't leave life. Right? We don't leave our bodies, but we don't leave life. So I wanted to visit one of my favorite teachings of all time, which is Abraham Hicks. And here is essentially what Abraham Hicks says. I have the screen up here for you. That the basis of your life is freedom, the purpose of your life is joy, and the result of your life is expansion. I'll come back to you with my face in a moment, but let's stay here. Because if the basis of your life is freedom, then any restriction you feel, any lack and limitation you feel, something's not possible for you that you feel, any negativity that undergirds your life, it argues with this. And because we live in a spiritual universe governed by law, but governed by thought, the science of the mind, we have the right and the freedom to choose bondage or freedom. We can choose happiness, we can choose sadness, we can choose prosperity, we can choose lack. And remember, this whole thing started with saying that to live a life of spiritual power requires that you take responsibility for every aspect of your being. And that means giving up being a victim, or giving up blame, or giving up reasons. Werner Erhard, one of my all-time teachers, said, you either have the results or you have all the reasons why you don't. And I can see why not everybody would love this teaching, because it calls us to it calls us into a very powerful level of existence. I actually love the second part of this even more. The purpose of your life is joy. Now, now, seriously, so are you with me? The purpose of your life is joy. Now, if any of you have not studied Abraham Hicks or been privy to their teachings, I beg you to go onto YouTube and listen. The purpose of your life is joy. How much does that fly in the face of what we've been taught and told? How much does it fly in the face of that? I'm going to tell you, it flies in the face of it a lot, because we kind of believe our purpose is to struggle, to work hard, to strive, to win, to accumulate. And it's not true. The purpose of your life is joy. So the third one is the result of your life is expansion. The result of your life is expansion. So if you and I are spiritual beings, which I say that we are, and if you and I chose to be here, which I say that we did, and the reason we did that is to grow, the reason we did that is to expand, then there is nothing going on here that isn't supposed to go on here. You know, I say, don't let anything get you down. Don't let anything get in your way. Don't let anything bother you. I love this other quote for you tonight. Don't let people pull you into their storm. Pull them into your peace. I kind of want you to digest that for a minute. Don't let people pull you into their storm. Pull them into your peace. You know, this is a little bit in alignment with the idea that life will be to you what you are to it. Whatever you put out, you will get back. So as much as we'd like to think or believe or lean into this idea that we're not happy because, there really is no because. We're not happy because we choose not to be happy. We're not filled with joy because we decide not to be filled with joy. And I do not say that in any glib way, because ultimately to live a life of spiritual power requires that we live from the inside out. That you recognize your wholeness. You recognize that your connection to all that is. And it's easy to think we're not connected, but you are connected, and you are birthless, deathless, eternal being. Now, in this world, in the world of, in what Joel Goldsmith called the second Genesis, or the fall from grace, or the moment somewhere in our childhood, you know, Don Miguel Ruiz in the Four Agreements called this process the domestication of humans, where we are taught, told, instructed, and conditioned into our entire lives. And it all happens, I don't know, probably before you're 10. This is who we are, honey. This is what we believe. This is what's good. This is what's bad. This is that you're good. This is the ways you're good. This is the ways in which you're bad. I can't even tell you how many children hear from their parents, oh, you're just always going to be sick like this, who stay sick like that their whole lives. Why? Because somehow they believed it. They got domesticated into the belief of fear, lack, worry, doubt, and limitation. And how many, truly, I'm telling you, how many adults I've seen give up being sick when some button gets pushed which says, oh my God, I chose. So I want you to see, oh my God, I chose. And oh my God, I can choose this. It is the most amazing thing. Now, this all sounds a little airy-fairy, I suppose, maybe. But I'm not talking to you from the standpoint of, I wish it were true. I'm talking to you from the standpoint of, I have walked the walk and talked the talk, and still in front of me lies the best that's ever been. Still. And listen, I've worked in hospice, I've worked in chaplaincy, and I can tell you that for the majority of human beings, this is not the way of thinking. This is not the way people think. It's not the way people live. So there's another, I'm going to come back up here for a minute. Who's with me? Oh, Misty Barong. Hi, Misty. So another Abraham Hicks things we can lean into is, they said, I'm going to scroll it at the bottom, be as happy as you want in a world gone mad. So this sounds funny. I know it does, but the truth is that when you're in relationships for a long time, or you've been the way you've been for a long time, or you've been at your job for a long time, you've been with the same coworkers for a long time, we set up habits and patterns of behavior. And sometimes if you step outside those patterns of behavior, if you get happy, you're going to piss someone off. If you get joyous, people are going to think there's something wrong with you, like you need to adjust your medications, or stop drinking so much, or lay off the gummies. But in truth, to live a life of spiritual power, you can decide to be as happy as you want to be in a world gone mad. Don't you love that? My God, it so inspires me to keep, I have as much reason as anybody to not be happy. I mean, I'm not even going to go into it anymore. I'm kind of done telling my own story, which, by the way, is one of my rules in life. Stop telling your story. But I have as much reason as anyone. Then they said, be as safe as you want to be in a world afraid of everything. Can you hear that? How many of us don't feel safe because of COVID, terrorism, violence? How many of you with children feel worried every time your kids go to school or you walk into a McDonald's? The world, living between two worlds. You have the world of spirit and the world of human, the world of love and the world of fear, the world of the ego and the world of the spirit. In the world of the spirit, there is nothing to be afraid of. You and God, you and life are majority. If God is for you, who can be against you? So you can decide to be as safe as you want to be in a world that is afraid of everything. This is radical teaching, but it's not, you can't just hear it and say, oh yeah, I hear Denise saying that. But you have to live as if that's true, because if you live as if that's true, then it will be true for you. So they said, be as healthy as you want to be in a world that is mostly sick. God. So having worked in hospice and in chaplaincy, so I'm 71, I'll be 72 next year, and I'm living in a 55 plus community. I want to tell you that aging, sick, death, and dying is normal. And that you can decide to be healthy in a world that is mostly sick. You can decide to eat better. You can decide to take care of yourself. You can decide to think better. You can decide to make yourself happy. You can decide to do as Abraham Hicks said, to live your life as if the purpose of your life is joy. And I want to tell you that it's not that easy. It's not that hard to do. No matter what your condition is, circumstances, your condition is right now, you can do something that will make you happier, more joyful. If you're not happy, what could make you happy? And it doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be to have a glass of wine. It could be to buy a new perfume. It could be to your book out of the room. What can you do that will make you happier and healthier than you are now? And you have to do it. Listen, I was talking to somebody the other day, and people, listen, I've been ministering to people for a long time. They say, Denise, Reverend Denise, I so want to be happier and healthier. Tell me what to do. It's like, oh, okay, well, why don't you quit drinking? No, not that, anything but that. Tell me something else I can do. It's like, okay, all right, how about you leave that job you hate and get a job you love? No, but the 401k, it's too good. Tell me something else. Do I need to go on? Because that's how people are. That's how we are. We don't want to give up being comfortable. We think that life can change for us if we don't change. Sorry. So they said, this is still Abraham Hicks. They said, don't let statistics that someone else created affect you. So just because the statistics say that women in America die at 75 doesn't mean that you have to. And just because the statistics say that the real estate market isn't really great and your house won't sell doesn't mean that your house won't sell. Because remember, we started here. We are not victims. We are participants. What you think moves out in front of you to create a path for you that's easy or hard, that's generous or poor, that's healthy or sick. You are the driver of that boat. So you get to choose. You get to choose how your life is going to be. Now, will this happen in an instant? It can, if a true believer manifests instantaneously. But for most of us, it takes time. You don't have to work at it. You have to work with your consciousness. You change your inside, the outside will reflect that. Change the way you think, your outside will reflect that. Change your mind, change your thinking, change your life. And most of our patterns of thinking are long. We've been with us for a long time. So to end all of that, Abraham Hicks says, you are wise enough, smart enough, and deliberate enough to live that way, to live in that way, to live in a way that is reflective of the truth of your being, which is that you are a spirit and you are incarnated in a machine called your body, and that all the great parts of you, all the love, all the joy, all the kindness, all the generosity, all the peace is of God, not of this world, living between two worlds. You want to move out of one house into the other house. But it really does have to be a conscious choice. It has to be a decision. And it's a joyful choice. It's a joyful decision. It's a powerful decision. Because I come here every week, whenever I do, to support you and myself in living a more deliberate, creative life. I don't want to be at the effect of statistics. I don't want to be at the effect of what's happened, even the circumstances. Can you make lemonade? Can you make lemonade out of lemons? I can't even tell you. I think my mother said that to me when I was 18. I do. And she wasn't a particularly wise or spiritual person, but she would say, honey, if life gives you lemons, make some lemonade. So, anyway. So that's really our lesson. Our lesson is really, this is your life and you are powerful. One unescapable truth about living a life of spiritual power is that living life at that level requires that you take responsibility for your life. Every win, every loss, every detail, every nuance, every relationship, every kerfuffle and circumstance. You are wise enough, smart enough, and deliberate enough to do that. So, that's our lesson for tonight. I invite you again to practice. Just practice. All you can do is practice. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of a clue. When you are feeling sad, depressed, angry, unanchored, listless, bored, in the next moment, choose anything at all that brings you a greater experience of joy. One choice at a time, and you will find yourself a year from now a happier, healthier, a more deliberate, intentional human being. I promise. All right, so couple of announcements. One is this Tuesday night, we're going to do week number 2 of the Life of Power Primer. Our conversation is the limitations of being human. So let me get rid of this. Yeah. So the limitations of being human. So join me 6 o'clock. I'll send out. I'm going to send out the link tonight on StreamYard. We're having a great time. I'm also. I'm going to create the link here. Now, I'm also going. Oh no, I don't want to do this here. I want to do it on here. Sorry, I'm coming. I am offering to go onto Zoom on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. for anyone participating in any work that I'm doing to ask questions, to share your ahas. Now, this past Saturday, only one person showed up, which is fine. I'm going to do it one more Saturday to see if anybody's interested. I'll stop doing that if it doesn't seem to serve anyone at all. So, but no problem. But if you want to come onto Zoom, which is more face to face, so you can see me and I can see you, that would be great. If you want to participate in the giving and receiving of value, you can do a love offering or a donation to my Let's Go to Africa Again Next Year fund. You can do that through my website, or you can also do it through PayPal or Zelle, just to my email, revdschubert@gmail.com. So that is our evening. So I'm going to pray. I'm going to speak a word of blessing upon all of us together. Remember that when we're living between two worlds, that is a shifting of consciousness. So you can't really read a book or take a class or anything that will actually do it for you. It's like something you make welcomed. Part of the achievement of your goal, whatever your goal might be, whether it's peace of mind, whether it's prosperity, whether it's health of your body temple, is for you to believe that the achievement of that is possible. So when we pray together, we pray for the conscious awareness of possibility and to align ourselves with the Creator, whatever you want to call that. I used to love, Ernest Holmes called God, he called it the thing itself. And it's really from a deep awareness that we did not make ourselves. We did not make the earth. I don't know who made it, really. I don't know exactly what this ineffable something is, but I do know that it's something, because I didn't do it, nor did you. So why don't you take a moment and turn within with me? Take a moment and just close your eyes. As you close your outer eyes, you are turning away from the appearance of the illusion. You're turning away from the appearance of lack, the appearance of limitation, the appearance of disease, the appearance of poverty, the appearance of violence. You're turning away from the world that is based on the ego and on hate. You're just turning away from it. And as you open your inner eyes, you're turning within to gaze into that space and place and dimension within you that is pure love, pure peace, that is the very essence of your reality, your true reality. You are a spiritual being who chose to be here having a spiritual experience. You are birthless, you are deathless, you are whole, you are complete, you are unbroken, and you are connected to the creator of everything. That's just the way that it is. And so it is from that place of connection with what I call God and I call you, that I just speak my word into a universe that is receptive to the word, that is going to take this word and make it all come true. Because we live in a scientific universe accentuated and activated by thought. And so what I know for each and every one of us is that we've already happened. We've already come into the glory days. We've already arrived into our spiritual truth. And so what I do with you in this word is to repudiate any belief in lack and limitation, any belief of victimhood, any belief that we are at the effect of the world. We are the creators of the world. And so what I know for each and every one of us is that we move into that truth with more faith. Faith is only faith in the face of adversity. Faith is easy when it's happening. So we have faith in the unseen, invisible something that is so beautiful, so awe-inducing, and so loving that our lives turn around. Period. They turn around, and we don't even know why. They just did. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to make this connection with those of you are here tonight within the sound of my voice moving into this week. Certainly knowing that I'm not talking about anything that isn't possible. Peace on earth is possible. The end of hunger is possible. Vibrant health is possible. Unlimited resources is possible. A life of joy and growth is possible. And so I'm grateful. I just release my word, accepting the fulfillment of it with faith and trust, knowing that it is so, inviting you to know that for yourself by saying with me, and so it is. Amen. So thank you for blessing me with your presence tonight. It's been good for me. I love my background. Do you love this background? This is South Africa. And I look forward to seeing some of you on Tuesday. Otherwise, I'll see you next Sunday on Living Between Two Worlds. Peace and blessings to you.